Welcome inside the Acres Broadcast Center. I'm Molly Robinson, and this is your Sports Nightly Ticker. Thank you for tuning in tonight. We have another great show ahead. In Hour 1, we'll hear from two members of the Husker softball team, Abby Squire and Carly Sievers. Then in Hour 2, we'll be joined by two softball minds, Maddie Burkhart, Husker Senior Director of Operations and our very own softball color commentator, plus Kenzie Fowler Quinn, ESPN and Pac-12 softball analyst. Now over to pro sports. In the NHL playoffs, we have 4 Game 2s tonight. The Penguins and the Rangers are just moments away from puck drop. Pittsburgh leads that series 1-0. Now at 6:30 p.m., the Capitals and the Panthers will square off in their second game of a best-of-7 series, with Washington leading it 1-0. The Predators will also look to rebound against the Avalanche after failing in Game 1. Puck drop is set for 8:30. And at 9, the Stars and the Flames are back at it after Calgary claimed a win in their first meeting on Tuesday night. No NBA playoffs tonight, but they'll resume tomorrow with 2 Game 3s, the Heat versus the 76ers and the Suns against the Mavericks. Now in the PGA, at the Wells Fargo Championship, Jason Day shot a 63, so he's your leader after the first round at 7 under. Earlier today in the MLB, the Reds failed to the Brewers 10-5, the Rockies beat the Nationals 9-7, and the Angels dominated the Red Sox 8-0. Currently in action, the Blue Jays are up 2 against the Guardians in the third, and the Mets and the Phillies are currently 0-0 in the first. Now just getting started, the Twins and the Orioles are just underway, and later tonight, the Tigers will face the Astros at 7:10. The Marlins will take on the Padres in San Diego at 8:40, and same goes for the Rays at the Mariners, also at 8:40. And the Cardinals and the Giants will square off tonight at 8:45. That's the ticker. I'm Molly Robinson, and this is Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
The 0-1, and Gray swings and hammers it. Deep left field, it's gone, and we're tied! A home run high off the bricks of the Woody Hayes Athletic Center. Beyond the left field fence ties it at 4.
Angled launches another one to left. Peterson back. He's to the track. He's to the wall. He has done it again. 3-homer day for Garrett Anglem.
1 on, 1 out for Maya Felder. First one to Maya. She swings and blasts it. Deep left center field. And it is gone. It's gone. The Huskers have taken the lead. They've come back from the dead down 7 and take the lead in the 6th.
Here is your host, Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Well, happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody. Welcome into Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody. Greg Sharpe on the road with the baseball team as they are set to take on Minnesota for a 3-game series starting tomorrow night. But before we get into anything, can we please give a shout-out? I got to give a shout-out to Molly Robinson over there, our student intern. She's a Scarlet and works for us, and her first time giving the ticker, she crushed it. So Molly does a great job for us. Want to make sure and give her that shout-out. So we got a lot to get into today, and we're going to talk a lot of softball because it is a massive weekend for the Huskers and Rhonda Ravel's team as they close out the season, the regular season. Last series at Bolin Stadium this weekend. They're trying to break an attendance record. It's free to the public on Saturday too, and so lots of fun things. Senior Day, and they also want to get some momentum going into the postseason before they head to the Big Ten tournament. So absolutely massive weekend. So we're going to dive into all of that. But I wanted to get to some quick news here coming out of the University of Nebraska Athletics Department. Today, there's a new women's head golf coach as Jeannie Sutherland was named the head coach. The news coming out today. She spent this season as the associate head coach for the Huskers and takes over for Lisa Johnson, who's been here the past 3 seasons. But Sutherland has one of the most decorated, one of the most tenured coaches in all of women's college golf. I mean, she's at SMU, Texas A&M. She has taken teams to the NCAA, to the Nationals, has All-Americans. I mean, her resume list is long and lengthy, so a huge addition there for Husker women's golf. And she was incredible golfer herself. So she was actually coaching college golf for a while, stepped aside to be a pro. She was a pro at a golf course for a while and then got back into coaching collegiately. So welcome, Jeannie. Well, she's already been here, but welcome into your new role, Jeannie Sutherland, as the new head coach for Nebraska women's golf. So we're going to have we're going to be talking a lot about the ladies here on this Sports Nightly show, and we start with a brand new episode of The Place that literally just was released, hot off the press on Huskers YouTube. But we wanted to give you a little bit of a preview. This episode, episode 2, is focusing on Nebraska softball and Nebraska basketball.
Just really proud of our players like Sam Hybe, who have been here and pouring into the program, her 4th year in the program, and to finally be playing in the NCAA tournament and knowing all that she had been through to be able to get us to that point. But just proud of that accomplishment, but also excited to be able to share that with our fan base and all the people who really got behind this team, and just to see that was rewarding and fun.
Atmospheres that this fan base is providing. There's a reason why they won 16 games, more games than they've ever won inside Pinnacle Bank Arena, is because of the fan base.
Nebraska fans are incredible. They really follow women's sports, and it's really special to have Nebraska fans like that support you on and off the court. We went through a lot of adversity this year, more than we were expecting, and I think that could have broken us, but it actually brought us closer, and I think that's something that's really special. That I think now we know that we beat 3 of the teams in the Sweet 16 this year, and we watched that, and it kind of hurt to watch that, and I think that with that experience, and like you said, nearly everyone returning, it's going to be even more special, and everyone's going out there with some fire in their belly.
To go win a basketball game in the postseason, it's so important to have that experience. They got a taste of it. They were disappointed. I really believe it will fuel that team here in the offseason leading into next season.
This team is not satisfied, and they've got a fire in their belly, and they're working like that. And players are coming in and talking about, I want to be the best. We want to be the best team. We want to, you know that they have a fire lit in their belly to continue to raise the bar for the program. And for us, that's going to be putting ourselves in a position to advance in the NCAA tournament.
Overcoming the adversity, you guys stayed locked in, you stayed focused. We made huge plays down the stretch. Big time, big time. Family on 3! 1, 2, 3! Family!
The University of Nebraska is a team, and that's one of the most special things about this place, and that this is a team. We're all together, and when one's winning, we all win.
Yeah, it's huge. I think that it's really important that women support women's sports, and to see how softball is performing right now, it's incredible to see. And I think that we have a very similar narrative with softball, and I think it's incredible, and we're going to go out and support them like they support us.
We made the commitment to have everybody on my staff and everybody on her staff. Just once a week, we would get on a Zoom, and we were doing some book studies together. We studied the culture code. Throughout that, it just created kind of a bond or a closeness between her entire coaching staff and our coaching staff. And I'm just really grateful for her mentorship and the way that she's willing to, pour into me. We both really become fans of each other's programs while we continue to help each other through the situations that we come up with.
We see the world, I think we see coaching, I think we see our faith similarly. I think that we try to treat people in similar kinds of ways. So it's really nice to have a colleague and a colleague at your same school that you can really bounce things off of, and somebody that you respect so immensely.
If you ask Coach Ravel and a lot of these players, they'll give immediate credit to those team captains and those seniors in the circle.
They were in my office right away going, Coach, We want to keep building on this. We want to get Nebraska back into postseason.
Culture was the key of just like the standards. You know, we created something called above the line, below the line, and it was just a lot of different things from social life to on the field to relationships with, you know, staff and players, and just making sure that we are staying above the line at all times. So when we were able to build that on standards, then that's what really brought us together to have this team that's so special.
This group, they've got an appetite for work. And you know, whenever we've met with former teams that have won championships, that's the one collective thing that they always say is, we didn't want to let our teammates down. And this group is now feeling that because they see everybody working so hard, so they don't want to be the weak link and let their teammates down.
They want it more for the person next to them than they want it for themselves. You cannot just make that happen. I mean, you just don't find a coach that's been in a program for as long as Coach Ravel has. Once you get to know Coach Ravel, you understand why she's been here and been around for so long and has built the type of program that she has built.
So again, that is episode 2 of The Place. A little sneak peek for you here on Sports Nightly. It is streaming now on our Huskers YouTube channel. And The Place was brought to life to shine light on all things Nebraska athletics, covering a wide range of topics across the entire athletic department. Episode 1 was on Trev Alberts. So if you missed that one, you can go back and watch that one. It's up there as well. But Dalton Conrad is taking the lead on putting that piece together, this series together, and he does an incredible job with the digital media crew. So it's a great episode, and again, it dives into the culture of both the women's basketball program and the softball program and their special seasons that happen for women's basketball, and that's in the process of continuing to happen here for softball. And I thought it was neat. One of the stories that you heard that Coach Ravel and Coach Williams have a really special relationship. They're really, really close friends and are in constant communication. And you saw Coach Ravel was one of the biggest cheerleaders for Amy Williams' team when they were doing big things. And now it's Amy Williams. It's one of the biggest cheerleaders for Coach Ravel. But they communicate constantly. But there's also a group text with all of the coaches that coach women's sports here at Nebraska, and they all kind of hit each other up if they need advice or anything like that. And so it's a really tight-knit community, and it's really cool to see that they don't operate just as their own separate entity. They want to support each other and push each other and hold each other to a standard, because hey, when one person wins, we all win, right? And that's what I think Coach Williams said that in that piece. So go check that out. The Place out right now on our YouTube channel. All right, we have a busy show here for you today. And up next, we're going to hear from Abby Squire, sophomore outfielder from right here in Lincoln for Nebraska softball. So lots to come. We're going to talk a little bit about their pen pal program. This team is incredible. The way they volunteer when they're not on the softball field, they give back in so many ways. So we're going to hear a little bit about that as well. And then you heard Molly mention that we are going to talk all things postseason softball and how the outlook of the college softball landscape looks right now as we are going into the final weekend before we'll have conference tournaments, and then it'll be NCAA selection time. So we're going to dive into all of that in hour number 2. So big show coming up for you as we get set for the softball final regular season series, final one at Bowlin this weekend against Indiana. All right, keep it right here. And if you want to be a part of the show, 402-413-2400. The Sports Nightly hotline is brought to you by Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, and buy online at woodhouse.com. Back with more Sports Nightly right after this.
Rise above the sea of sameness and shop the Lincoln Corsair at Woodhouse Lincoln, the Omaha Metro's exclusive Lincoln dealer. The Lincoln Corsair has seating for 5 and integrated technology features that deliver the functionality you need. With an expressive aesthetic and luxurious interior, the Lincoln Corsair is quiet luxury redefined. Visit us in store off 144th and Giles Road at Woodhouse Place or online at woodhouselincoln.com.
A tradition of winning doesn't happen overnight. Like any team, you got to be tough, play smart, and work hard. No one understands this more than Ford Motor Company. They built the best team in the game with Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks 45 years straight, the iconic Ford Bronco, and the most powerful Ford Explorer ever. Shop online at buyfordnow.com or visit your local Ford dealer to buy or custom build the perfect truck or SUV for you. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. Nebraska's new collaborative biosecurity lab is leading research to safeguard America's food supply against growing threats in partnership with the U.S. Departments of Defense and Homeland Security. The lab brings together world-leading expertise in agriculture and a deep understanding of the complexities of strategic deterrence across the threat spectrum and in multiple domains.
Schultz has the sign and the pitch. Curveball, that's whacked to left field. That's hit pretty well. Going back is Peterson, and it is gone. Home run, England, who just blasted one out of here, and the Big Red have a 1-0 lead.
Tomorrow, Nebraska baseball begins a 3-game road series against the Minnesota Golden Gophers at 6:30 p.m. Pre-game coverage on the Huskers radio network begins at 6. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Whether you compete on the court, at the track, on the field, or in the fields, winning isn't just a goal. It's a mindset, shaped, honed, and defined throughout the season. That's why farmers pushing themselves to be the best plant DeKalb brand corn. Wherever you compete, winning has roots. Perform at your best with DeKalb. Always read and follow grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
Huskers, do you want a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding? Explore the many ways you can be a part of the insurance community. Go to iian.org/careers today. Business insurance is a lot to manage. Did you know a trusted choice independent insurance agent can help guide you through it at no extra cost to you? They'll do your insurance. You just do you. Find out more at trustedchoice.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Schultz has the sign and the pitch. Curveball, that's whacked to left field. That's hit pretty well. Going back is Peterson, and it is gone. Home run, England, who just blasted one out of here, and the Big Red have a 1-0 lead.
Tomorrow, Nebraska baseball begins a 3-game road series against the Minnesota Golden Gophers at 6:30 p.m. Pre-game coverage on the Huskers radio network begins at 6. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
Searching for your next vehicle? Shop Woodhouse first. Over 1,000 pre-owned vehicles in stock and on our lots, with new trades arriving daily that you can explore on woodhouse.com. Plus, confidence comes standard when you purchase a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Woodhouse. With our multi-point inspection, transparent pricing, available add-on warranties, and financing options, purchasing a pre-owned vehicle has never been simpler. Experience the difference and drive away today confident and road-ready in your new vehicle from Woodhouse.
Nothing goes better with Husker sports than Fairbury. Fairbury, premium quality hot dogs deliver the home game experience to your family and friends. The highest quality beef, pork, and natural spices give you the best tasting hot dog and your hometown favorite Big Red hot dog. Look for Fairbury hot dogs all year long at your local grocery store. Fairbury, the official hot dog of the Huskers and Nebraska fans everywhere.
At Great Western Bank, they understand what commitment to community means. It's more than setting up shop. For Great Western Bank, commitment means growing together and serving their communities. With more than 50 locations in Nebraska, they are dedicated to making life great. Thank you, Lincoln, for allowing them to be a part of this great community. Great Western Bank, member FDIC.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. Nebraska researchers are designing the next generation of roadside steel barriers through an industry partnership with Traffic's Devices. This partnership has produced the Delta Crash Cushion, a simplistic, effective way to keep drivers safe on highways. This barrier is vital for roadside safety and significantly improves the chances motorists will be able to walk away from roadside collisions.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. As we welcome you back to Sports Nightly, I'm Jessica Coody, and a big weekend coming up this weekend for Husker softball. Final weekend inside Bowlin Stadium, and it's a big series against Indiana. A lot of promotions going on. They need to get some momentum going into the postseason, so we're going to keep talking about that. And we welcome in Abby Squire, sophomore on the Husker softball team, outfielder, and from right here in Lincoln. Abby, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Is this your Sports Nightly debut?
It is.
That's awesome, because your family listen, and they have been listeners. So
I'm
for you
sure
to be on Sports Nightly, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Your family is amazing. I've been talking to your sister Katie, your dad John, and they are incredible. I hope you know how awesome your family is.
Yes, I do. They are. They're amazing supporters and huge Nebraska all athletics fans.
Yeah, not just Husker softball, all sports.
Yeah, all sports.
That's awesome. So how has this season been going for you? I mean, you're third on the team in batting average and have come up with some huge clutch moments, not just at the plate, in the field. How's it felt out there for you this season?
I think the best way to describe it is just a lot of fun. Every single day, we just go out there and we have fun, and we've built some really strong connections off the field as well. So it's just been a whole lot of fun.
What about for you? Because a lot of times you hear about the sophomore slump, but you've really made a sophomore jump. This is, a breakout season for you. I know you played last year, but you, have really contributed in a lot of ways. What's clicked for you this season?
I think the experience that I got last year as a freshman was really helpful. I wasn't a starter, but I got some quality experience against good Big Ten opponents. So I knew what I needed to work on over the summer, and I think I did a good job of that. And so it's kind of showed up this year.
What work did you do?
A lot of work in the weight room, just some little technical things with my swing. So yeah, just little details.
Did you know and have a feeling going into this year, hey, I'm going to step into a bigger role this year?
That was a goal. Yeah, that's been a goal of mine ever since last year kind of finished. So I knew in the outfield that there were going to be some seniors that graduated, so there was going to be some room to come in there and make an impact. And yeah, I think I've tried my best to do that.
So take me back to, because Nebraska kid, you mentioned your family, diehard Husker fans, your recruiting process. And then was there ever any doubt when you got an offer from Nebraska that you were coming here?
I always wanted to play for Nebraska, so I think when I got that call, it was very exciting. But I did have a couple other offers, and that process was just kind of stressful for me. I know a lot of people say it's super exciting and fun, but I just remember it being like a super stressful time. And I was kind of caught between, there was a change in rules, so I think now September 1st of your junior year is when you can start receiving offers, and so I was kind of between that. So yeah, but when Nebraska called, I kind of knew that this is where I wanted to be.
What was it like for your family too?
They were excited. They were super excited just to be able to stay here. And like yesterday was an off day and I got to go home and just be with my dogs and family. So yeah.
Visiting with Abby Squire from Nebraska softball. Let's talk about this lineup. You guys continue to lead the Big Ten in batting average, home runs, all of the above. What is it like being a part of this kind of lineup?
It's super fun. I know, like, at the start of the game, you just know that we're going to start off hot. And if we have like a 1-2-3 inning, I always feel confident in the next people to step up and start a new rally. So I really feel like there's not a spot in the lineup where it's like, oh crap, let's get through this and then we'll get to the top. Like, it's a strong 1 through 9 lineup, and every part of the lineup can score runs.
You know, you hear people talking about you guys' approach, that it's aggressive, but sometimes that can bite you. How do you balance the being aggressive and attacking, but not going overboard with it?
Yeah, I think sticking to your plan and knowing what you're looking for. We watch a lot of film on opposing pitchers, and so we try to come into the game knowing how they're going to try to get us out, and just knowing the best pitches that we should be attacking early in counts and ones that are tougher pitches to hit, and laying off those. But yeah, it is hard to sometimes find a balance between being aggressive and then not too aggressive and swinging at bad pitches.
So you're hitting .367, third on the team. You got 7 home runs, and again, like I mentioned, have delivered some clutch moments. But you've also arguably have made some highlight reel, Web Gym, Sports Center top 10 plays in the outfield too. Which one do you like better?
Ooh, it depends on the day. They're both very different. I think for me, naturally hitting is more difficult. I feel like in the outfield I just get to run around and, you know, be an athlete. But I think defensive plays that are like influential in the game are the most fun.
Yeah, it can really impact and change, completely change the momentum of a game, right?
Yeah.
So how did you become that, you know, elite outfielder? How did you work on that? How did you, I mean, I know a lot of it's a knack and a feel, but what work went into that?
I think it goes back to when I was little. Honestly, we played a lot of backyard sports. And so I was always playing a game. I was always super competitive, and actually didn't specialize in softball super early. So I was playing basketball, soccer, volleyball, all of them. And I think that helped me develop as an athlete. And so I've seen some of those skills translate over onto the softball field. And I've also played some infield too, so there are skills that I've taken from infield and taken out to the outfield as well.
You know, you look at this roster, but then even across the country, there are a lot of Nebraska softball players that are, you know, making big names for themselves across the country. So, you know, you think about, people might say, oh, Nebraska's not a softball state. What would you say to that? Because there's a lot of talent coming out of this state.
Yeah. I think softball's growing in Nebraska a lot. It's super fun to get up, look up into the stands and see all the little kids that are in the place that I was at one time. And so to the little kids, we were all there once, and Nebraska is a place where softball's growing, and there are a lot of opportunities to develop as a softball player.
How big has that been for this team to have so many kids that grew up here, like you said, sitting out there in the field and the stands watching this team play their entire lives?
It is fun. Last year, since we had, I think because of the COVID protocol, we didn't have as many fans, and so this year it's been fun to watch our stands fill up with those little kids and then get to sign autographs and all that fun stuff. So it has been really cool.
That's got to be a surreal moment when you're that kid getting those autographs, and then here you are signing those autographs.
Yeah, it is. It feels like just yesterday that was me, so it's a lot of fun.
So you mentioned all the sports you played. One of them that you didn't mention was pickleball.
Yeah.
You're a big pickleball player.
I love pickleball. We actually set up a court. So up by the clubhouse, like we have metal stands, and if you keep walking, there's a pickleball court. So I know Miller just went and got some new tape because our tape was peeled up. So yeah, we're gonna have to set that up.
People listening might not know what pickleball is, so tell us what pickleball is.
Okay, pickleball is like a combination between tennis and like ping pong. So yeah, you got a racket, and then it's like a little wiffle ball that you go back and forth. But yeah, it's kind of like tennis.
How'd you get into it?
Actually, I took a class in high school called Lifetime Sports, and we played it, and I loved it. And then Miller got to talking about it one day, and I was like, let's set up a court. So we did.
So are your other teammates getting involved now?
Yeah, we did have a little fun team night with a bonfire up there, and so the whole team, we had a tournament. Yeah, it was fun.
Who won?
I don't remember. I don't know if we had a clear-cut winner, but okay, I'd like to say myself.
I was going to say, so for the record, though, if Coach Miller's listening, who's the best pickleball player from Nebraska softball?
Oh.
Are you not going to give it to yourself?
Well, Miller's pretty good, but also Caitlin Neal's really good.
Really?
Yes. Me and Caitlin went up against Miller in a tournament, so yeah. I'll say me and Caitlin Neal.
So did you guys beat her? Did you guys win?
Yeah. I don't know. No, I think
awesome.
she actually beat us.
Well, okay, this weekend's huge. How important is it for, I know we're pushing to break the record, the attendance record. I know they want to get fans out there to make Bowlin Stadium electric in you guys' final home series. How important is that for this team?
It is important. I think we've gotten to see our fans come through here and be super loud. And this is the last weekend that the seniors have to play in front of a home crowd. So it's super important that we just celebrate the seniors and go off on a good note.
Yeah, what is the significance of this weekend and performing well before you go into the Big Ten tournament and then the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, we want to set the tone for the rest of the season this weekend. I know Indiana's a good team, and today we're going to watch a lot of film and get prepared for them. But yeah, we definitely want to have a good weekend this weekend and prepare for the Big Ten tournament and postseason.
What's the key? What's the key to come out with a sweep this weekend?
Oh, I think just having fun like we have all season, staying in each pitch, enjoying every little moment we have together. So,
how special has it been to be a part of this team? You guys just seem to love each other. It's undeniable when you watch this team that you guys appreciate every day and you love playing the game together. How special has that been to be a part of it?
Yeah, that's so true. I have had to take moments and just be like, embrace it, because this season has been really special and every girl on this team is special. So yeah, I'm just trying to embrace every last minute I have with this team.
Because not every year do you get a team like this. Not everybody gets to be a part of a team like this. So I feel like you got to appreciate it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, Abby Squire, it was a pleasure talking to you, and shout out to your family. I know they're listening and watching and huge Husker fans, so appreciate them and their support. Appreciate you spending some time with us.
Yes, thank you.
And best of luck this weekend. Again, Nebraska softball 3-game series final series inside Bowlin Stadium regular season coming up this Saturday. So we're going to step aside for a quick break here on Sports Nightly. The Sports Nightly hotline brought to you by Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, and buy online at woodhouse.com. More from Sports Nightly coming up right after this.
The game isn't just about winning or losing. It's about the snacks they share after they've used up all their energy in the field. It's the early morning practice before school and staying late after to get a couple more kicks in. It's the pride they feel for their team and the determination to always keep improving. Sure, the game isn't always about winning or losing, but when they've won the big game and celebration is in full swing, there's only one thing left for you to do. Get them home safe. Buckle up in back. Paid for by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Monday nights are now famous for something else. Powerball. That's right, Powerball is adding Monday nights to the lineup so you have more days to play. Plus, with a starting jackpot in the millions, you don't want to pass up this chance to score a bundle of money. Get pumped for Powerball with drawings Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday.
Powerball from the Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
Preparation. It's the key to success on game day. And like your favorite Huskers on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pregame routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. Husker Pride, powered locally.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Huskers fans, it's time to plan your dream trip to Ireland and see your team face the Northwestern Wildcats at Aviva Stadium in Dublin, Ireland. Single game tickets are on sale now at huskers.com/Ireland. Start the 2022 season in the best way. Plan your dream trip to Ireland and see your team face the Northwestern Wildcats at Aviva Stadium in Dublin, Ireland. Buy your single game ticket today at huskers.com/Ireland.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
You always dreamed of owning your own farm. Now you're living your dream, and it's time to pick the tractor that makes it all come together. Massey Ferguson has reinvented what compact and utility tractors can be and redefined what they do, making them easier to operate, more comfortable to drive, more versatile than ever. Massey Ferguson gives Nebraska farmers the power and performance to win in the field. Kearney Equipment, Kearney, Nebraska, your big red Massey Ferguson dealer in central Nebraska.
When you're a sports fan, it's kind of like having a new love interest. You want to know all about them. Only instead of learning about someone's third-grade crush, you want to know the latest scores, stats, and lineups. To get that, you need Cox Internet. Cox gives you that window to look deeply into your beloved team's soul, not to mention their injury list. Cox, we're sports 24/7. Learn more at cox.com/sports.
From sprains and stitches to sore throats and sinus infections, when it's care that can't wait, count on CHI Health Clinic Priority Care. Simply walk in 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You'll get the quality care you need without an appointment, and you'll never pay more than a regular primary care visit. Get in, get out, and get on with your day. Find a location near you at chihealth.com/priority care.
Everyone knows that Dakota Mac is known for their great rates on long-term fixed ag real estate loans. But just how long-term are they? Well, they're even longer term than your sister's piano recital at church that time you drank a whole big cup of soda right before you left home and insisted to your mom that you didn't have to use the bathroom. We're talking that long-term.
Hello, it's Jim Persinger from Dakota Mac. Give me a call at 308-284-3260 to learn all about our competitive rates on 30-year fixed-rate loans.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. We're going to keep talking Husker softball because they got a big weekend, and boy, they've been just such a special team. One of the best stories around here, and they have taken the college softball world by storm, and they really won a big crowd out there this weekend as they head into their final regular season series. And Doug, on our text line, the softball team most likely headed for a number 2 seed at regional. We're going to dive into all of that in hour number 2 about where the Huskers might land and what they're looking at, what they need to do to secure a certain seed. So we're going to dive into all of that because I got 2 experts coming up for you. So we will get to that, I promise. But I did want to talk about what this team does off the field, because it is easy to talk about the home runs and the being a number 2 seed in the Big Ten tournament, potentially going to a number 2 seed in the regional. But this is a team that spends a great deal of time out in the community. And one of the things that they do, they started a pen pal program back during COVID, and they wanted to reach out to the elderly that couldn't have visitors during that time, but it was all started by senior Carly Sievers. So we had her here in studio to dive into how it all started and some of the special stories and the impacts that this pen pal program has made.
It happened, the idea kind of started after COVID, or really when COVID had happened. Obviously, we all know it started March 2020. I became a CNA that summer. They had a special training program where you could get your CNA a lot quicker because there was a bigger need for it. And so I was able to see firsthand of kind of just the restrictions that were placed on residents in nursing homes. And I also, was trying to visit my grandma. Obviously, that was really hard too with restrictions, and she wasn't able to go anywhere. So not even residents in nursing homes, but obviously any elderly person around like the Lincoln area, it was just like, wow, nobody's able to leave their homes. They're really restricted on that. So I brought this idea in the fall of 2020 to my coach, to all my coaches, that why don't we do a pen pal program where we can have a safe way to connect them with our teammates. And I know from my time at the nursing home, they are big Husker fans. It doesn't matter the sport. It doesn't matter if you're done playing or if you haven't started yet. They are big Husker fans, and it would mean a lot to be able to have that relationship with any Husker athlete. So I brought it to my coaches, and they were all for it. They were like, let's do it. So I reached out to the nursing home I had worked at, another nursing home, and then as my teammates, and every single one of them have a pen pal. No one asked not to have one or didn't respond to me. They all wanted to be a part of it, and I matched them up with the residents that we had. Some people took on 2, some people took on 3, and it kind of went from there.
That's awesome. So their initial reaction when you go to your teammates, hey, this is what I want to do, what'd they say?
They're absolutely. That sounds like a great idea. They were really excited. They were all. I couldn't be blessed with better teammates, really, to put it that simply. And they all were really excited and wanted me to get on it faster. To be honest with you, like, we want to know who they are. We want to know how soon we can send letters and how soon we can get them back.
So it takes a special person to want to work with the elderly, and in that situation, it's tough, you know, and it can be really hard. And so you obviously have the heart for it. Why did you want to give back in that area?
I love old people. I have always had a soft spot for them, and I just think there's so much we can learn. I think sometimes we kind of just, not disregard, but for a lack of better words, don't put as much time and attention into that older population, maybe because of the restrictions there are now, or sometimes there's just different things that make it a little harder. And I just think there's so much we can learn when we take the time to, and the stories they tell are amazing, and that's just a soft spot in my heart.
So what was the first big story that you thought, wow, this is really making an impact?
Wow, I could tell so many. I would say Abby Newlin is a sophomore on our team. She had Luis, and they, instead of writing each other, they decided to go on the phone with each other, just to make it a little easier. And they started calling each other back and forth, and it got to the point where once restrictions were lifted, she was able to go in person and see her. And basically, I was able to be a part of some of the phone calls, and it was like, my family isn't from here, or I only get to see my family so often, like, I consider you my granddaughter. And she's been invited to her birthday party. She turns, don't quote me, but I believe 100 in August.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And so Abby brings her flowers, and I wish I'll have to play you a voicemail that I had that Abby got from her, and it was like, I love you so much. I can't thank you enough for the time you put into this. And that was just like, wow, like, you know, it's making a difference in Luis's life, and to the point where we've got birthday parties going on together. So
that's amazing. So you guys are reaching out not just here in Lincoln. You've got some pen pals in, I think, Kansas, right? And
yes,
but it's also really touched people within this athletics department. And I got to start with Coach Miller, because we talked to her, and you got involved with her mom, but then you got Billy Andrews involved. And I don't know if a lot of people know this about Billy Andrews, that she's an incredible artist. And so Coach Miller's mom was nonverbal, couldn't really communicate. And so tell people what Billy started to do.
So, yes, I will reiterate that. Billy is an amazing artist. And so, like you said, Coach Miller's mom was nonverbal, wouldn't have been able really to benefit that much from handwritten letters. So we decided to have Billy paint paintings for Coach Miller's mom. And Coach Miller's mom was really into flowers and landscapes. So anytime Coach Miller was going to be going to visit her mom or heading back down to Kansas, Billy would paint a picture for her. And I got the absolute honor. Billy painted one last painting after Coach Miller's mom had passed away, and I was able to go deliver that to the funeral.
Oh, my goodness.
To Coach Miller. And it was that's a special story. It gets me really emotional just to be able to. There was a situation, where handwritten letters wouldn't have been the best option, and we were able to use Billy's amazing talents to still. I know she loved the paintings, and it meant a lot. So.
Gosh, I'm getting teary-eyed over here.
I know, me too.
I mean, but you look what Billy does. I mean, she's putting up stats. She's in the Big Ten Player of the Year conversation, and she just won Nebraska Student Athlete of the Year. And, the things that she's doing on the field, and then look what she's doing off the field. What does that say about Billy Andrews?
It shows what an amazing person she is. When I came to her with the idea, and I'm telling you, these aren't paintings you just whip up in one night.
They're incredible.
They are beautiful, and they take time. And don't quote me, I'm not an artist, but she was putting layers on. You have to take time to let the paint dry and come back again the next day. And it just shows that despite the success and the enormous amount of time she's putting in, outside of practice, she's still taking time to give back because she knows how much it means. I used her artistic abilities again. Friday, we're having the pen pal game, and we made T-shirts for all of our pen pals to wear. And we're going to be wearing them as well. And I asked her to design the front of the T-shirt, and she came with the design of, and it's an amazing design, but she actually asked me, she goes, well, where's one of the nursing homes we write to? So I sent her the address, and she used the exact layout of the address between Bowlin Stadium and that nursing home on the T-shirt, and sent it to me in all different colors. She went all out for it, and we're in the middle of a tough travel schedule, so she's amazing.
How about that? I mean, just incredible story. And then you think about Billy Andrews and what she's done this year. She's the Nebraska Female Athlete of the Year, and the things she's doing off the field. And that's an entire team full of athletes that are doing those kinds of things and making such a huge impact. So thanks to Carly Sievers. And that conversation, that was just a small portion of the long conversation I had with Carly talking about this Pen Pal program and lots of different just emotional stories, great stories of how this has impacted so many different people, but also diving into, she's a senior. She's going to be one of those seniors that's going to be celebrated and honored this weekend at Senior Day, the last one inside Bowlin Stadium. So she talks about what her career as a Husker has meant to her. So that full podcast up right now on our Huskers Radio Network podcast platforms. All right, we're going to step aside. We have our final segment here of hour number 1 before we have Maddie Fowler joining us at the top of hour number 2. Buckle up and put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Touchdown, Nebraska!
If you're doing business in Nebraska, the best way to connect your organization with the excitement surrounding the Huskers is through a partnership with Nebraska Athletics. You can take your business to the next level by reaching loyal Husker fans through in-venue signage, digital and social media, radio advertising, and more.
Got it!
Join the Husker team today and email partners@huskers.com to learn more about opportunities to connect with Husker Nation. That's partners@huskers.com.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there's no place that treats you like home like Sap Brothers. For 50 years, Sap Brothers has fueled America's heartland and been a reliable partner to local farms and Husker fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your farming equipment and welcoming guests into their travel centers. Visit www.sapbros.net. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Husker Athletics.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Searching for a new to-you car, truck, or SUV? Shop Woodhouse first. Over 1,000 pre-owned vehicles, all makes, all models, in stock and on the lot. Plus, confidence comes standard when you purchase a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Woodhouse. With our multi-point inspection, transparent pricing, available add-on warranties, and financing options, purchasing a pre-owned vehicle has never been simpler. Experience the difference and drive away confident and road-ready in your new vehicle from Woodhouse.
Welcome back into our final segment of hour number 1 here on Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody. Man, this hour flew by, and it's going to keep flying by because we got some fun guests lined up for you here in hour number 2. On our text line, John in Omaha, I love the piece on the relationship between the coaches of the women's sports. Do you know if any of the men's coaches have any similar type of relationships? Keep up the great work, John. As always, we appreciate you listening. You know, I don't know specific stories like that, like them all being on a text or them Zooming or doing a book study, but it is pretty cool sometimes. So a couple weeks ago when we had Scott Frost in here in the first hour and Will Bolt in the second hour, when they overlapped a little bit, to see them kind of talking and interacting before Will Bolt had his show start. So there's definitely some cool relationships. I know they all talk to each other and, you know, pick each other's brains, but it's really neat. It's a neat relationship between a lot of these different coaches. John Cook, same thing. When he comes in here on his show, sometimes he'll run into Coach Frost, and it's neat to see them interact and, you know, talking about their teams. And, you know, Coach Frost was asking about Coach Bolton and what was going on and going into the weekend and all of that. So, yeah, it's really neat. So, lots of great relationships here at the University of Nebraska. So appreciate that text, John in Omaha. And the Woodhouse, or the Sports Nightly Hotline, is brought to you by Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, and buy online at woodhouse.com. We got a massive softball matchup coming up tonight. Bedlam, Oklahoma State, a top 10 matchup. It's on ESPN. About to get that thing rolling. It's at 7 o'clock. And Jordy Ball, they're showing some warm-up shots of her. We got it on every TV in here in our studio. And Jordy Ball out of Papillion, Nebraska, one of the best pitchers and arguably could be freshman of the year this year. She is on the mound for Oklahoma, so a massive matchup there. We'll dive into that and the entire landscape of college softball and what that looks like going into the postseason. Maddie Burkhart now was a part of the last team that went to the Women's College World Series, so she's going to take us back to that, but also what this Husker team needs to do to finish out strong and get a good seed going into the postseason. And then her sister, Kenzie Fowler, is an All-American, pitched at Arizona. She works for the Pac-12 networks and has done some work with ESPN, and she has a great beat on just again, across the nation college softball. So we're going to get everybody set and ready to go as we head into the postseason. This is a fun time of the year. I love May and all of the softball matchups. You could tell how much it means to these teams. It gets intense, but it is a fun time of the year, and a lot of parity this year, a lot more than we've probably had in many recent years. So lots more to come. It's going to be fun. Stick around, and if you got questions, you want to call in and you got any questions for Maddie, call us, text us on our Woodhouse Auto Family text line, 402-413-2400. All right, we're back with more Sports Nightly and Maddie Burkhart coming up right after this.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's more than a Lincoln. It's your Lincoln. Custom order your next luxury SUV with Woodhouse Lincoln today. Choose from the full range of Lincoln models and curate every detail to your deepest desires. From exterior color down to each accessory, our friendly and knowledgeable sales staff will guide you to your next vehicle. Begin your custom order journey online at woodhouselincoln.com or in-store off 144th and Giles Road.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. During the summer of 2021, 3 UNL students helped safeguard cattle across the state. Neely Anderson, Tatiana Jones, and Ashton Commons developed secure beef supply plans that prevent the spread of disease outbreak. The plans protect nearly 850,000 cattle across our state and provide greater economic security for this vital industry.
Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go is mealtime made easy. Just order delicious meals online for convenient curbside pickup or have it delivered. Want breakfast? Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go. Need lunch? Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go. Doing dinner? Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go. Get pancakes, burgers, fried chicken, lasagna, Hai-Chai Asian dishes, sushi, pizza, and more. If you're craving it, Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go has it with curbside pickup or delivery. Order today at Hy-Vee.com/mealtime.
Welcome inside the Acres Broadcast Center. I'm Molly Robinson, and this is your Sports Nightly Ticker. Thank you for tuning in tonight, and we have a great second hour coming up. In Hour 2, we'll be joined by two great softball minds, Maddie Burkhart, Husker Senior Director of Operations, and our very own softball color commentator, and Kenzie Fowler Quinn, ESPN and Pac-12 softball analyst. Next, over to pro sports. Some updates from the NHL playoffs. We have 4 Game 2s tonight. The Penguins and the Rangers are currently tied 1-1 in the first, Pittsburgh leading that series 1-0. The Capitals and the Panthers are both scoreless right now in the first of their second game, with Washington leading that series 1-0. Later tonight, the Preds will also look to rebound against the Avalanche after failing in Game 1. Puck drop is set tonight for 8:30. And at 9, the Stars and the Flames are back at it after Calgary claimed a win in their first meeting on Tuesday night. No NBA playoffs tonight, but they'll resume tomorrow with 2 Game 3s. The Heat versus the 76ers and the Suns against the Mavericks. In the PGA Tour at the Wells Fargo Championship, Jason Day shot a 63, so he's your leader after the first round at 7 under. Earlier today in the MLB, the Reds fell to the Brewers 10-5, and the Rockies beat the Nationals 9-7, and the Angels dominated the Red Sox 8-0. Currently in action, the Guardians have taken over the lead against the Blue Jays 6-2 in the 6th, and the Mets are trailing the Phillies 5-0 in the 3rd. The Orioles are tied up with the Twins 1-1 in the 3rd as well. Coming up tonight, the Tigers will face the Astros at 7:10. The Marlins will take on the Padres in San Diego at 8:40, and same goes for the Rays and the Mariners also at 8:40. And the Cardinals and the Giants will square off at 8:45. That's the ticker. I'm Molly Robinson, and this is Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
The 0-1, and Gray swings and hammers it. Deep left field, it's gone, and we're tied! A home run high off the bricks of the Woody Hayes Athletic Center. Beyond the left field fence ties it at 4.
Angle launches another one to left. Peterson back. He's to the track. He's to the wall. He has done it again. 3-homer day for Garrett Anglem.
1 on, 1 out for Maya Felder. First one to Maya. She swings and blasts it. Deep left center field. And it is gone. It's gone. The Huskers have taken the lead. They've come back from the dead down 7 and take the lead in the 6th.
Here is your host, Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome back to Sports Nightly on this Cinco de Mayo Thursday Eve. I'm Jessica Coody, and joined now live in studio, Maddie Fowler Burkhart, because we are going to keep talking to Husker softball and all things softball. And we got a big matchup on ESPN right now. Bedlam, a top 10 matchup. 1 versus 7, Oklahoma State, Jordy Ball in the circle. This is big for the sport. Just having in prime time, you got it on ESPN. We've seen the ratings continue to go up. You just got to love this for your sport.
Oh, yeah, you got to love it. ESPN does a really, really good job of covering softball and picking up games throughout the year as well. So the ratings continue to go up, so it keeps showing them that it's a sport worth investing in. And you'll see come regional time how good of a job they're going to cover all of the different regionals through ESPN Plus, but also through their main channels. And then softball also had a game on ABC earlier this year, so that was a really big deal as well.
That's awesome. Well, May is here, which means we are quickly approaching the postseason, and I love postseason softball. It's just such a fun time of the year. What's this like as a player going into the final weekend, but right there around the corner from postseason, which you know your team is more than likely headed to?
Yeah, it's the most fun time as a student athlete was playing in postseason, especially school like Nebraska. You know, we're in dead week right now. I got finals week next week, so they will be completely done with school when postseason comes around. And that is just, it's like you feel like a pro athlete. You know, you're like, I'm done with school. I only have softball to focus on. There are other schools that are always, you know, Washington has a little bit of a later quarter schedule, Northwestern, so they'll still be in school. But I know in my experience, we loved that time. It was so much fun. You know, coming together with the team, and just when you
you could do early morning practices, afternoon practices, no conflicts, and just one focus, and it was what you work all year for, was for those couple weeks.
Is it 9 years ago that you were about to head on a special run? 9 or 8?
Yeah, 2013. So, yep, 9
Wow.
year. It'll be the 10-year anniversary. Yeah,
Next year,
next
season,
year, which is pretty crazy.
So
you're aging me. Oh my gosh.
Sorry. 9 years ago, you and your team were about to get set on a really special journey to the Women's College World Series. What went into that run now when you look back on it?
The most exciting part to kick it off was we got to host regionals at home, and I remember we had T-shirts that said "Bringing it back to Bowlin," because we hadn't had a regional at Bowlin Stadium in a long time. So we had a really exciting, I remember, game to beat Stanford, and there was a rain delay. It was super dramatic. We had come from behind, so we win that regional, and then we went to Oregon for super regionals. And they hadn't lost at home all season that year. And we went in there and we took 3 games, but we took down Oregon, who was, I think, the 3 overall seed, and then got to live the dream and go to the World Series. And I remember we pulled up to Oklahoma City, and they didn't even have our flag or our T-shirts printed yet at the gift shop, because they were not expecting Nebraska.
Oregon was going.
Yeah, they didn't think we were going to go in there and upset Oregon, and so that was kind of fun. We had a chip on our shoulder, and it's so cool. It's something you dream about since you're 5 years old when you've been playing the sport, and to walk out on that field in front of those fans. And Nebraska traveled so well, and it's just something that's one of the highlights of my life.
Well, so we've had some questions about, the postseason and Oklahoma City, that the Women's College World Series is always there. And, of course, everybody here is familiar with Omaha and the College World Series. So, but, the venue and just the history and tradition of it being in Oklahoma City and the Women's College World Series, what was it like to step out on that field?
Yeah, and it's even grown now. I mean, they added a second deck that, if you watched last year, they got another 4,000 fans, and they filled it every single game. So it's Hall of Fame stadium. It's just a beautiful complex, and you get really, really good turnout at every game. It helps that Oklahoma has been a powerhouse for the last decade or more, so that their fans travel really well and are great softball fans. But it's drivable for a lot of the teams too. A lot of the schools who are making it are our fans. Caravanned down there and had a great showing, and but it's just so much fun. I just remember it was a little bit when we played just on the verge of kind of the social media era. So I remember after games, like, going on Twitter and looking, and we were getting some interactions. Social media has come a lot further since then.
Wow.
But I remember one of the highlights was we played in a 15-inning, 5-hour game against Florida that was absolutely insane. And one of the ESPN camera crew members came in our dugout in about the 10th inning and was like, "You're on the mothership." And we were all like, "What do you mean?" And they said they moved SportsCenter primetime worldwide to ESPN2. That's what this game is on right now. So one of the coolest things, we had people around the world who were watching. It was really cool. So we were like, "We're on the mothership."
Wow.
Nobody knew what that meant.
That is so cool. What a great story. All right, well, let's talk about this current softball team and going into this weekend. At Wisconsin, at Indiana, or at Ohio State. Avoided the sweep, but came back and won Game 3 of the series. How do you feel about where this team is at going into this final regular season series this weekend?
Yeah, I feel really good. It was tough because you break in the rankings, and then you go 1-2 on the road against a really good team, and they just fell out of the rankings. But there's always a lot of movement in kind of those 20 through 25 teams. But Ohio State's a really good team that has a strong RPI. Wisconsin's a really strong team, so going 1-2, you would have loved to see a series win in either one of those, but still going 1-2 on the road against 2 really tough teams doesn't hurt them much at all. They're still in really good standing for postseason, and then we got Indiana at home. Would love to see 3 strong wins to hold on to that number 2 spot in the Big Ten standings going into the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah, right now, a game ahead for that number 2 seed. So when you look towards the Big Ten and how that might shake out that tournament, Northwestern, I mean, what are you seeing out of them? Why are they so great this year?
I know, they're so tough, and they had such a tough schedule, and they backed it up. I mean, the number of top 15 wins they have is crazy, but they've got a lefty pitcher that is leading them in the circle. That is just incredible. They've got a lot of firepower at the plate, and I've just been really excited. Those are two of my favorite coaches, the Drohans. They deserve it, and it's really cool to see them, going to be a top 8 seed most likely, and be a team who has a chance to host, regionals and super regionals. Then I would love if Nebraska could hold on to that 2 seed and kind of run the table and get a crack at Northwestern in the championship, because we didn't get to play them this year.
Yeah.
So that would be a lot of fun, but the tournament will be tough. I mean, there's a lot of good teams. Michigan's good, Minnesota's tough, Ohio State, Wisconsin, so you'd have to still win quite a few games to get there.
Visiting with Maddie Burkhart as we head into the weekend, the final regular season series for Nebraska softball against Indiana. So when you talk about postseason, so it's currently looking good, right? I mean, Huskers pretty much probably have guaranteed a spot, but right now, how would you, I guess, project maybe what seed they'd be, where they might go, what they're looking at postseason-wise?
Yeah, we were talking about it a little earlier today. You're hoping they'll get a 2 seed going into a regional. A good chance they could go somewhere like an Oklahoma State. The NCAA does like to bus you if they can, which is inside that 400-mile radius rule. Anything outside of that 400 miles, you have to fly. So Oklahoma State could be a good option. They're 7 seed overall, I believe, right now. Very tough team. That would be a really fun matchup to watch and would be drivable. So hopefully we'd get some fans there but if not, I could see them flying to play some PAC teams. Usually you could go somewhere like a Washington or an ASU. So there's a couple options that shake out. But the important thing to remember is, if you remember how it worked with baseball last year, where people were like, we're not a 32 seed team. Why are we going to the #1 seed Arkansas? It's not a true 1 through 32, ranking. They rank the top 16 teams, and then the next 16 teams after that who are in, it's really just based on kind of regional matchups. So it doesn't always shake out with the seedings how you think it would. It comes down a lot of times to your regional matchups. We went to Missouri twice when I played, and we were pretty close in rankings to Missouri, but we just knew if one of us was a top 16 seed, either Missouri was coming to us or we were probably going to Missouri.
Yeah, I mean, I remember at Oklahoma when I was there, and, Alabama, Oklahoma ended up matching up, and a lot of it was because it was a great dramatic storyline, which people, it plays into that too, like what's going to draw in good ratings for TV, because they put all the regional and super regional matchups on their ESPN family of networks, and so they want to get good storylines that people are going to tune in to watch.
Absolutely, and there's every year there's just some seedings and you're just like, what? How is this possible? I always feel bad for the Florida schools. You always have a really good team in UCF or South Florida, and they always get sent to Florida, and you're like, God, these teams are knocking on the door of hosting themselves, and they always get sent to Florida. I don't think Florida likes it either, because they're tough teams. But yeah, you want that good competition. NCAA wants, good fan turnout and good ratings. And at the end of the day, if you want to make it to the World Series, you got to beat some tough teams to get there no matter what.
Exactly. And we're going to dive into more national teams and all of that coming up with Maddie's sister, Kenzie, coming up here in just a few minutes. But going into this weekend, they're making a push to set the attendance record this weekend. How electric is Bowlin Stadium going to be this weekend?
I know. The weather's looking good, so I hope everybody has plans. There's no baseball series at home this weekend, so it's a great time to get out to the ballpark. Saturday's the big push, so free attendance on Saturday. So 4 o'clock game. It is on Big Ten Network as well. The record previously, I think, is 2,300, is like 2,302. Capacity of the stadium is just like a little over 2,500. So if we break the record, I mean, it's going to be a completely full house, and so just no excuses. If you don't have plans, we got a place for you to be, and it's Senior Day Saturday as well. But even if you can't make it Saturday, Friday, and Sunday, you've got 3 really good options to support a team that has just fought really hard and played at a really high level all season.
What do we know about Indiana? What do they look like?
Yeah, they're kind of in the middle of the Big Ten standings. A little bit of a younger team. They depend on their freshmen a lot. Had 7 newcomers. They've have 2 girls who have been freshman of the week. One girl's been freshman of the week 3 times for the Big Ten, so a lot more firepower than previous years. I think they broke their single-season home run record this year for Indiana, but their pitchers, you know, their best pitcher has a ERA above 4, so they do give up a lot of runs.
So that's not good with this team.
I know, so hoping that our bats can kind of take care of business. And they had a couple games, Nebraska did last weekend, where the bats were a little quieter than usual, which happens. You can't expect them to put up 9 runs every single game.
Right.
But I expect, you know, we've got some seniors, and there's a lot of pride on your last series to play at home. So I expect, you know, the Huskers to come out and play really well this weekend.
Yeah, let's talk about those seniors. How impactful have they been, not only to this season this year, but for this program?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about Liv Farrell a lot. You know, she came back for her 5th year. Didn't have to do that, and she's just got to feel so proud of what she's done in the circle, and it really does start with her. And then with Courtney and Carly, those are your 3 senior captains. So you got 3 pitchers, 3 senior captains who are really the heartbeat of that team. And just really cool how they all balance each other out. But it's such a gratifying feeling when you do. It's so hard to come back for a 5th year. I did it. It was so tough. I mean, your body is fighting against you, and you're like, I'm so much older than these freshmen, but it's so worth it for them to make a postseason, you know, assuming everything shakes out like it should after 4 years of not making it. And I'm just really, really happy for that senior class.
We had Abby Squire on the show earlier. What has been your perspective for her and how she's been able to step into a bigger role this season?
Yeah, Abby, I mean, you kind of forget she was a really high-ranked recruit. She was a top 100 recruit, but...
By the way, hit a grand slam off of Jordy Ball in the state finals, I believe.
There we go. I wouldn't be mad if that happened again sometime. But Abby, yeah, she's a hometown kid, and she only had 35 at-bats, I think, last season, but I felt like watching all of her at-bats every time. I was like, God, this kid is... Every time she's getting a hit, she's squaring it up, or if she was getting out, it was a really loud out. So I was excited for her. She was kind of one of my picks before the season, where I was like, this is a kid who I think has a lot more to contribute, and she's just been so consistent all year. You know, she hasn't had, you know, maybe the numbers that a Billy Andrews has, where you're always being splashy, you know, with the home runs, but she's been so consistent for this team. She's a tough out. She battles, she hits well both sides of the field, and it's been really fun to watch her play.
So talking with Rhonda Revelle, and she made it a point that, hey, it is easy to talk about certain players, but if you go back through every game, every series, there's been a different hero, different player that's really delivered. How big is that you have so many different people that have stepped up and delivered in some big moments when the pressure is high?
Yep. I talk about this all the time. It's a streaky sport. It's a hard sport to play, because there are times when you're hitting it so well, but you just can't find an opening in the field. It just seems like everywhere you hit, you're hitting line drives right at somebody and getting out. But I mean, if you looked at the last weekend, you know, they moved Billy from leadoff down into the 6 hole just because she's, you know, wasn't being as hot with her bat. So let's try and string some other hitters who are hot right now. But you know, okay, Cami Barra, no problem. She steps into the leadoff role, and Maya Felder steps up, and now all of a sudden Peyton Glatter's come on really, really strong, hitting the ball the best she has in her Husker career. So that gives you a lot of confidence as a team when you know it's not all on me, you know, especially if you're one of the high-performing, you know, run producers for the team. You know, hey, somebody else has my back, and also you're holding each other accountable because, you know, there's pressure. You want to be the top of the lineup, and you know somebody else is kind of right behind you. So that's good accountability and good competition to have on a team.
I would never ask Coach Revelle this or anybody on this team, but I can ask you this because they're all focused on this year and this season, and they still have a lot of work to do this season. But when you look at how young this team is, how big is it to have an experience where you go to the postseason and you get a taste of it for some of these young players that it'll be their first time doing that?
Yeah, it's super important. I mean, you've got a really, really strong sophomore class that you can really build continuing to build this team around. And once you get a taste of it, it's something you're like, we can't go another year without having that. So that's huge, and it reminds me of the women's basketball team where, you have a really talented freshman class this past year. They got a taste of postseason, and now you feel like the sky's the limit with that squad as well. So it's just really exciting, and it's a great thing to have when you have a balance of strong senior leadership with young talent.
All right, so we have to work in our first break here on Sports Nightly. But coming up next, Maddie, we're going to call her sister out on the West Coast. She's in Arizona, and get her perspective. She is another softball guru, so we're going to keep talking softball and going into the postseason. So keep it right here. You don't want to miss it. Buckle up and put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Welcome to Ag Answers, where we answer common questions related to farming and ranching. Today we're tackling the issue of GMOs, or genetically modified organisms. GMOs may sound scary, but they're actually benefiting our environment and consumers. That's because GMO crops help solve specific problems like insects, food waste, and droughts. By selecting good traits from one plant or organism and adding them to another, farmers are safely using science to produce high-quality foods better than ever before. This message is brought to you by Nebraska's corn and soybean farmers.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. The university has a new undergraduate business and law major. Students majoring in business and law are learning to use legal knowledge to better solve business challenges. They are also gaining skills in regulatory compliance, financial services, securities regulation, and corporate social responsibility. Upon graduation, they will boost the state's talent pool in these critical areas of expertise.
Schultz has the sign and the pitch. Curveball, that's whacked to left field. That's hit pretty well. Going back is Peterson, and it is gone. Home run, England, who just blasted one out of here, and the Big Red have a 1-0 lead.
Tomorrow, Nebraska baseball begins a 3-game road series against the Minnesota Golden Gophers at 6:30 p.m. Pre-game coverage on the Huskers radio network begins at 6. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com, or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Rise above the sea of sameness and shop the Lincoln Corsair at Woodhouse Lincoln, the Omaha Metro's exclusive Lincoln dealer. The Lincoln Corsair has seating for 5 and integrated technology features that deliver the functionality you need. With an expressive aesthetic and luxurious interior, the Lincoln Corsair is quiet luxury redefined. Visit us in-store off 144th and Giles Road at Woodhouse Place or online at woodhouselincoln.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Welcome to Ag Answers, where we answer common questions related to farming and ranching. Today's topic, animal agriculture. There's been a lot of talk suggesting that giving up meat is good for the environment. However, livestock emissions only account for less than 4% of greenhouse gas emissions, according to the Environmental Protection Agency. Also, by reducing meat in your diet, you're missing out on all sorts of beneficial nutrients like protein, iron, and zinc. This message is brought to you by Nebraska's corn and soybean farmers.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
Attention anyone standing near a mud puddle. Trucks and Bucks is back, so take cover. The Nebraska Lottery's most popular scratch game is roaring down the road again. And this year we're giving away 8 blue 2022 Ford F-150 XLT Super Crew Flex Fuel trucks. So buy a $2 Trucks and Bucks ticket today. You could win a new Ford F-150 and make a real splash in your neighborhood. Ford F-150 is a registered trademark owned and licensed by Ford Motor Company. Top prize odds 1 in 336,000.
And the pitch. Breaking ball, that's lifted in the air to right. Hit pretty well. Drifting back is LaFleur to the wall, looking up, and it is gone. Home run, Bryce Matthews, a 3-run blast.
This Saturday, Huskers baseball squares off in Minnesota with the Golden Gophers at 6 p.m. Central. Pre-game coverage on the Huskers radio network begins at 5:30. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com, or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
So, this date was really fun.
Yeah, thanks for dinner.
For sure. For sure. Not really sure why I'm playing with my keys. I literally took an Uber here.
Oh, me too.
Wow.
Can I
Wanna
ride
grab
you
a beer?
around?
Start the night out right, because you can't drive drunk if you don't drive there. Decide to ride. This message is brought to you by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber. Copyright 2022, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
They say if you listen hard enough, you can hear the corn grow. It's true. When you're out in the field, you understand its challenges and what it needs to thrive. Channel Seedsmen bring insights from the field to our team of Bayer plant breeders. Their knowledge inspires our product development. From your best ground to your most challenging conditions, our products are designed to perform in your fields. Visit channellistens.com to see our latest innovations. Always read and follow IRM where applicable, grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. So we welcome you back to this Thursday edition of Sports Nightly. Maddie Burkhart joining us in studio, and we have a special guest lined up, her sister Kenzie. It's the Fowler Hour here on Sports Nightly. But Kenzie was an All-American pitcher at Arizona. She works for the Pac-12 networks and also does some work for ESPN, so she's got a great knowledge of the entire landscape of college softball. So we thought we'd bring her in and kind of get everybody set for heading into the postseason. So Kenzie, welcome in. Thanks for joining us.
Happy to be, even though I'm on call, but yeah, talking softball.
Yes.
I know. I'm letting her on my turf. I don't know.
Yeah, you might know my co-host here on this segment here, Kenzie, but how's it going? How is this feeling for you? We were talking to Maddie just a second ago about when you head into May and you know postseason's around the corner. How special is this time?
It's just the best time of the year. I feel like my team is nonstop on softball right now, which is I'm watching Oklahoma State and Oklahoma. I'm sure you guys are as well. And yeah, there's no other better time of season when it's softball all the time, and the implications are huge. I mean, every game right now is so big for everyone in terms of seeding, where you want to be ranked. It's just so much fun.
So overall, I mean, we got you mentioned Oklahoma State, Oklahoma right now. Everybody seems to say they're the favorite, but what does the rest of the college softball world look like? There's a lot of parity this year, right? Is this more parity than we've had in maybe ever?
I think it's safe to say the mayhem or the NCAA tournament is going to be the craziest we have ever seen in terms of upsets, in terms of the parity in different conferences represented 1 through 16 in those regional seedings. And it's just a testament to our sport and how it's growing nationwide. You know, there's always been so much talk about how our sport started on the West Coast, you know, California, Arizona, and then it's just drifted east. And I mean, anyone can beat anyone. And I think everyone's been seeing that all season long, just conference to conference, right? The best team in the conference can be upset by the worst team in the conference at times. So, yeah, I think we need to buckle up and get ready for some serious upsets, and it's going to be must-see TV in the next couple of weeks.
Who are some of your, I guess, dark horse favorites, maybe, if it's not Oklahoma, to come away with the national championship this year?
Virginia Tech, 100%. I was able to be on the call last season for the Super Regionals when it was Virginia Tech and UCLA, and UCLA was one of the favorites. Of course, they had Rachel Garcia, who is the back-to-back Player of the Year. And Virginia Tech was one game away from upsetting UCLA and going to the World Series. And I just feel like ever since that Super Regional, that team has been on a mission. It helps that they have an All-American pitcher in Keely Rochard. I think she's a dark horse for Player of the Year as well, just with what she's been able to do in her career. And then she's been able to really get even better in her senior season, which sounds funny, but in our sport is incredibly hard to do with just the scouting that goes into pitchers nowadays. Outside of Virginia Tech, I'm going to also stick with the ACC and go Florida State. I think a lot of softball fans have been able to watch them on ESPN the last couple of Thursday night throwdowns, and they just have some special, I don't know, elite magic about them. When the game's on the line, they're at their best. So, yeah, a little ACC love there for you guys. But, yeah, those are two good teams that I have my eyes on.
A Pac-12 analyst giving some love to the ACC. Love it.
I know.
Kenzie Fowler Quinn joining us here on the line on our Sports Nightly hotline. Hey, what was your take? I know Nebraska has a special place in your heart because of Maddie, but what's been your perspective on this Husker softball team and how special they've been this year?
Look, they're for real, and I can say that because I've been watching them through the eyes of an analyst. I'm over here on the West Coast watching different conferences, but they're for real. I think they're going to be a team coming into some regional and making people feel very uncomfortable. I would not be comfortable having them come in as probably a number 2 seed with the way that they can swing it. So they're going to be one of the reasons that, like I'm saying, the mayhem, the upset, it's going to be so competitive because those teams, those number 2 teams, are so much better than they have been in years past and so much tougher. But they're for real, and it's been really fun to watch them, I feel like, get better as the season's gone on. And I know they're so young, but they have those seniors in the circle that are leading the way, and there's so much to be said for that, that senior leadership that you just can't, fake. It's got to be real. It's got to be genuine, and they have it. And, yeah, it's been really fun to listen to Maddie, of course, and watch that team go.
So you're a pitcher. What would it be like if you're in the circle and you got a lineup like this, 1 through 9, that literally everybody could hit a home run?
Yeah. There's no better feeling knowing every time you take the mound that your team has your back offensively. I've been on teams where I knew that they were going to score me 5 runs at least. And then I've also been on teams where I was like, okay, I really need to buckle down. There's not a lot of room for error because maybe we're going to just scratch 1 or 2 across. And I will take the former every single day just because it allows you to be relaxed. It allows you to be loose. And, you love to pitch on an offensive team like that, and Nebraska is that team for sure.
But what does that do for a pitcher and your mindset when you know what you're facing? Every single batter's coming up can really do some damage.
Are you talking about pitching against a team like that?
Yes, when you pitch against a team like that.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun because 1 through 9 you don't get a break, and 1 through 9 there's no pitches off. And I feel like a lot of the teams in the nation are like that, but when you have 1 through 9 that have home run power, to me that's where it separates, because you'll have teams that you face 1 through 9, they have good averages and their hits are up, but do they have home run power where they can change the game in one swing if you take a pitch off? And I feel like that's what Nebraska is. They're that home run, balanced attack 1 through 9 that can change the game. Anybody can do it, even off the bench. So, as a pitcher, it's not so fun.
I want to ask you about Jordy Ball. She's a Papillion, Nebraska kid, and was National Player of the Year coming out of high school, then going to a top program as a pitcher, and then similar situation for you. You were National Player of the Year coming out of high school, going to Arizona, who was a top 5 program, and you took them to the World Series. How hard is it to live up, I guess, to those expectations in the circle as a freshman when you have kind of that weight and going into a powerhouse program like that?
Yeah, it's interesting because I've been asked a couple of times this year about Jordy Ball, just because I guess the parallel in our careers, and National Player of the Year in high school, and then coming into one of the top teams, if not the top team. It's funny because I think it's harder when it sets in your junior and senior year. I didn't have that hard of a time my freshman and sophomore year with expectations, quote unquote, if you will, because I was just so overwhelmed with what I was doing right there in the moment, trying to survive a college season and trying to keep up with the seniors as a freshman. And so there's not really, I don't think, a lot of time to think about that. I think it mentally wears on you a little bit more when you get older and you start to reflect, and you can kind of see your time running out, and people are expecting a lot from you because maybe you had this crazy freshman season like she's having, and then you have to replicate that, and all of a sudden now people are scouting you. There's film out there. They know what you throw. You've got to come with a different look. So I feel like the fairy tale is that freshman year. There's nothing like it. It's a different magic. It's the grind when you turn into a junior and a senior. And I think if you ask any athlete, they would agree that those years get a little bit tougher. So it's been so fun to watch her just take the nation by storm as a youngster, because I've been there and I've done that, and I've kind of thinking about those feelings all over again. And yeah, it's just fun to see that new talent take over our sport.
So you talked about it was going to be mayhem, but we've had some viewers and some listeners that have asked about just the overall process of the postseason and what the committee is looking for when they seed these teams. Can you maybe just walk us through that process and Maddie, you can jump in on this too, but if, when they start diving into how they're going to seed this thing and plan it all out, what they're looking for and how they put teams where?
I wish I knew, because I feel like I would have some opinions, especially after watching last year. But, I know RPI is big, but I also think visibility. I think visibility is huge in watching games and seeing teams on ESPN. And unfortunately, I feel like last year the teams that were on TV the most got rewarded, if that sounds kind of crazy. So I wish that there was a little bit more of a transparent process about why teams are ranked and sent to where they are. I would love to see our sport just go to like a 1 through 32 ranking instead of just a 1 through 16, and then you have the 2, 3, 4 seeds. So I would love to see that, because I think it would make things a little bit more competitive, because I feel like after that 16th seed, it's just kind of a free-for-all, and there's no rhyme or reason about who's getting sent here or there. So, I would love to know. Maybe one day when I get older, I could make my way onto that committee, because I think that would be really fun to see and listen and know what goes into those decisions.
I think you should maybe start the campaign for running for, I don't know, president of this NCAA softball or something. You totally should make some of those changes happen.
It is important, because I don't know how many on the committee played college softball, maybe one. So I think that's a big deal, and going forward, I would love to see, as athletes graduate and, get older and, are onto their jobs, maybe working through the NCAA, that we get a little bit more representation of former athletes that know what it's like and know the eye test and can help judge a seed, because, to be honest, I don't know if we're there quite yet.
Well, Kenzie, appreciate your time. We got to get to another break here, but I think we might have started something here. I think you guys should start a podcast or something, the Fowler Hour, with the two of you breaking down all things softball across the nation. But appreciate you joining us from out there on the West Coast, and we'll look forward to seeing you call some games here in the postseason.
Hey, anytime I get to talk softball with my sisters as well. One day we'll call a game together. That's on the bucket list.
Oh,
sure.
That'd be amazing. That's cool.
Does that mean I have to do play-by-play? I don't know.
We can turn into a podcast.
I love it. Kenzie, appreciate your time. And she's joining us on our Sports Nightly Hotline, brought to you by Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first, 18 brands, 16 convenient locations, simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, and buy online at woodhouse.com. More Sports Nightly coming up right after this.
When you've escaped the screens and the sun bathes everything in a golden glow, and your friend hands you a cold organic beer that tastes as perfect as nature itself, that's pure gold. Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, the first national USDA certified organic beer. Organic by nature. Enjoy responsibly. 2020 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, St. Louis, Missouri.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
The Nebraska FFA is growing leaders
and building communities.
Together, we are strengthening agriculture.
The Nebraska FFA Foundation believes in our future leaders and the communities they serve. We believe in the future of agriculture.
Join us in the I Believe in the Future of Ag campaign. Learn more at NEFFAFoundation.org. Brought to you by CPI, Cooperative Producers, adding value, sharing success. And the Nebraska Farm Bureau, the trusted voice for Nebraska farm and ranch families.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
Now the 2-1 pitch. That's lifted in the air to right. Drifting back is McFleur. He's to the track. He's to the wall. It is gone. Garrett Anglam's second home run today. And it's a 6-0 Nebraska lead.
This Sunday, Big Red Baseball wraps up a road series with Minnesota at 1 p.m. Central. Pre-game coverage on the Huskers radio network begins at 12:30. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
A tradition of winning doesn't happen overnight. Like any team, you got to be tough, play smart, and work hard. No one understands this more than Ford Motor Company. They built the best team in the game with Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks 45 years straight. The iconic Ford Bronco and the most powerful Ford Explorer ever. Shop online at buyfordnow.com or visit your local Ford dealer to buy or custom build the perfect truck or SUV for you. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
If there's one thing that you can count on every spring, it's that we're going to have to deal with some hail. J-Tech Construction is the company to call to make it right again. J-Tech Construction specializes in siding, roofing, windows, and gutters, even solar. They're trained for insurance claims assistance, and they can help with your insurance company. Turn to the team the Huskers turn to, J-Tech Construction. Use your favorite search engine to find J-Tech Construction online and schedule a free estimate today.
The Huskers provide the best on the field, and so does Kubota. The new Kubota L60 Limited Edition Series provides the best package for affordability, quality, and comfort, like the deluxe Grand L factory-installed cab or spacious open operator station. Maximize performance with Kubota's best-in-class HST Plus transmission and many other features of the L60 LE Series. Experience the Kubota difference. Visit nebraska-kubotadealers.com or see Sandberg Implement in Gering or Dinkel Implement in Norfolk.
There's nothing better than the smoky aroma of grilled beef at the ballpark. This is Anne Marie with the Nebraska Beef Council reminding you to pick up a package of steaks or burgers for your next tailgate party. Whether you're setting up in the parking lot or cheering from home, nutritious beef is a home run choice when cheering on the Huskers. Visit beefitswhatsfordinner.com for delicious beef recipes, grilling tips, and tailgate inspirations. Beef, it's what's for dinner in Nebraska.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, Midwest Premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. A few more minutes left here on Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody. You heard at the top of both hours Molly Robinson giving the news ticker for us tonight. She's a student intern for us, but she's also a member of the Scarlets dance team, which we all know and love. They perform everywhere at every single sport, a big part of the atmosphere of all Husker athletics. So, Molly, you're working for us, and when you're not working for us, a lot of times you're dancing somewhere, and you guys just had a big weekend last weekend. Tell us about it.
Yeah, we did. So last weekend we actually had our tryouts, and it lasted Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And it was my fourth and final tryout, and a little stressful, but you know, I was a little nervous, but I kind of see nervousness as a sign of wanting to do well. And obviously, you know, being the oldest in the room and it being my fourth and final tryout, you know, I want to do well, and I need to show these newbies coming in that, you know, I still deserve my spot on this team.
What is a tryout process like? And I think people might be interested to hear what goes into that.
Yeah, absolutely. So Friday, I didn't have to go on Friday. She didn't let any of the fourth years come because, you know, it was pretty much just game day stuff, and that's stuff that we've been doing for 4 years now. So Friday they worked on fight songs and band chants, and they learned a sideline routine as well. And then Saturday was all day. I think I got there at 8:30 at Devaney on Saturday, and I don't think we left until around 5 o'clock. So
Wow.
Pretty long day. You know, we got warmed up. We learned a jazz routine from our guest choreographer. His name is Zach. I believe he danced at Hofstra University. So very hard and very technical jazz combo. And then we did evaluations on the jazz, the game day, the fight song, all of that. And then after the evaluations, we learned a hip hop routine from Michelle Vaughn. And she's worked with a bunch of NFL teams and NBA teams. I believe she's worked with Nicki Minaj before as well. So she's insanely talented, and it was amazing to get to work with her as well. And then that was that. And then they did a cut on Saturday night. So you got an email basically saying that you made it to Sunday or not. And luckily I made it to Sunday. And so Sunday we had interviews, and we took a sports information quiz just to make sure that we know everything that we can about the Huskers. And then we had another evaluation on Sunday. And the team is actually announced on May 16th, I believe.
Wow, how many people tried out? Do you know?
I don't know the full number to be exact, but I think we had pretty close to 30 finalists. I think there was about 40 going into semis, and then I think they cut just around 10, so about 30 going into finals.
All right, we're going to work in a final break. We're going to keep Molly here and talking Scarlets because they're a big part of this Husker athletics program, but we got to make sure we got the timing right. So we'll come back and talk more Scarlets with Molly, so keep it here. The Sports Nightly Hotline is brought to you by Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first 18 brands, 16 convenient locations, simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, and buy online at woodhouse.com. We're back to wrap up the show next.
A tradition of winning doesn't happen overnight. Like any team, you got to be tough, play smart, and work hard. No one understands this more than Ford Motor Company. They built the best team in the game with Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks 45 years straight, the iconic Ford Bronco, and the most powerful Ford Explorer ever. Shop online at buyfordnow.com or visit your local Ford dealer to buy or custom build the perfect truck or SUV for you. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
Monday nights are now famous for something else. Powerball. That's right, Powerball is adding Monday nights to the lineup so you have more days to play. Plus, with a starting jackpot in the millions, you don't want to pass up this chance to score a bundle of money. Get pumped for Powerball with drawings Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday.
Powerball from the Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
See Shelter Agent Jeb Brandt in Hastings, DJ Robertson in Aurora, or Callie Schilke in Imperial.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
Whether you compete on the court, at the track, on the field, or in the fields, winning isn't just a goal. It's a mindset, shaped, honed, and defined throughout the season. That's why farmers pushing themselves to be the best plant DeKalb brand corn. Wherever you compete, winning has roots. Perform at your best with DeKalb. Always read and follow grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Final segment here on Sports Nightly. Been a fun two hours. It's just flown by, though. We've talked a lot of lady sports, and now we're talking Scarlets with Molly Robinson. She works for us here in the Huskers Radio Network studio, and they just had tryouts last weekend. But okay, besides just dancing on the sidelines at games, what goes into being a Scarlet?
Yeah, so we talk about this a lot during training camp, and you kind of touched on it too, how it's way more than just being a dancer. We truly do define ourselves as ambassadors of the university, and that's part of the reason why in the tryout process we do have an interview as well as a sports information quiz, because before a game and we're talking and we're intermingling with fans, we want to know what we're talking about. We just don't want to be there shaking our pom-poms. It's important that we actually know something about the university and the Huskers.
You told me after the spring game you were going to help me out with some interviews, and you said you were overwhelmed that it was such a great atmosphere. How'd you like it? Because the year before, no fans. So how much did you enjoy the spring game this year?
Spring game, it was a lot better than last year. Last year was kind of tough just because it wasn't like, this year's actually my first spring game, technically, because my freshman year was the online, the fully virtual one, and then last year it was about, I think, at half capacity, and we didn't really get to be on the sidelines at all, but this year we finally got the full experience again. And obviously it's not like a normal Husker game day during the fall, but I think it's right on up there as well with the real game, even though it's basically like, our team versus the Huskers versus the Huskers.
So you guys got to compete at Nationals for the first time in several years, right, this year. What was that experience like, getting to go do that?
Yeah, absolutely. It was our first time since '07. And in high school, I actually got to go to UDA Nationals every year with my high school team, because we have a lot of alumni on college teams all across the country. And so we would always go and watch them and support them. And so me finally being able to go with the Scarlets, it was super rewarding. I mean, obviously we worked very hard about a month and a half before we left. We practiced every single day. We were always either here or at the studio or over at Devaney doing what we can to get ready for Nationals. And so being on the stage and being with the team, it was just so rewarding.
Crypto in our YouTube chat said Molly would be a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader someday. You want to maybe try out for DCC?
I would absolutely love to try out. I mean, I still have another year of college left, and the most important thing for me when I do graduate is finding a job somewhere. So if I can get a job in Dallas, I would absolutely love to try out. And I mean, that's part of the reason why I wanted to get into sports anyway, because growing up with an older brother, I was glued to the TV all weekend watching both college and professional football. And whenever they would show, either collegiate cheerleaders or professional cheerleaders on the screen, I remember thinking, I want to be that girl. Like, I want to be part of that, because I've always loved football, and obviously I can't really play. I'm 5'2", 5'3", so don't really have the physique for that. But I always thought, why not, do the spirit side of it and still, be involved in the atmosphere and be on the sidelines.
Well, I appreciate you chatting with us here, and we're going to have a podcast because there's a lot more we can dive into, and the Scarlets, again, are just such an important organization, and the entire Spirit Squad, they do so much here for Husker Athletics, and so wanted to shed a light onto that. So we're going to have a longer conversation later, but appreciate you doing the ticker. You killed it.
Thank you.
So your Sports Nightly debut.
Yeah, it was. I loved it, too. I was a little nervous, but again, I wanted to do well, so.
Well, we appreciate it, and thanks for all your help here in the Huskers Radio Network. Okay, so that wraps up 2 hours and ladies' night here on Sports Nightly. Had all women's voices on this show here tonight, but we do have to thank Andrew Dowdy over there, who's running the show for us, producer extraordinaire, who helped us out here tonight. But thanks to Maddie and Kenzie and Molly and Andrew, and we will have coverage all weekend long of all of our Husker sports. Baseball at Minnesota. Greg and Ben will be on the call on that one starting at 6 o'clock tomorrow, and then we'll have Maddie and Nate Rohr on the call for softball this weekend, as well as they get set to take on Indiana. Go out to Bowlin Stadium. Let's break that record and support those seniors out there in their final series of the regular season. All right, thanks for listening, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Hit us up up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Don't let the cold winter worry you. As Nebraska's leading supplier of propane, you can count on Sap Brothers to keep your family warm this winter. You're like family, and your safety is the #1 priority of Sap Brothers. When it comes to your propane needs, Sap Brothers has you covered. Visit www.sapbros.net/petroleum to find your local Sap Brothers propane expert. Celebrating 50 years of fueling America's heartland and welcoming guests, Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Husker Athletics.
Searching for your next vehicle? Shop Woodhouse first. Over 1,000 pre-owned vehicles in stock and on our lots, with new trades arriving daily that you can explore on woodhouse.com. Plus, confidence comes standard when you purchase a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Woodhouse. With our multi-point inspection, transparent pricing, available add-on warranties, and financing options, purchasing a pre-owned vehicle has never been simpler. Experience the difference and drive away today confident and road-ready in your new vehicle from Woodhouse.
If there's one thing that you can count on every spring, it's that we're going to have to deal with some hail. J-Tech Construction is the company to call to make it right again. J-Tech Construction specializes in siding, roofing, windows, and gutters, even solar. They're trained for insurance claims assistance, and they can help with your insurance company. Turn to the team the Huskers turn to, J-Tech Construction. Use your favorite search engine to find J-Tech Construction online and schedule a free estimate today.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he's so hot. The air conditioning is out again. But wait, he sees an opening. SOS! SOS, he screams and calls 391-2336. SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer. Boy, he made the right call today, as SOS is already on the way. SOS is your trustworthy company since 1950, and with Luxair, you get free 10-year labor warranty with the new system. Call 391-2336.